right, folks, y'all know what time it is. It is the happy hour live stream Q&A. Once again, it's me. It's that VINCE. I hope everyone's doing well today. That guy, Psycho, old Pug Man. How y'all doing tonight there? Or this evening, technically. Uh, got the head shaved. I hadn't shaved it in a couple weeks because I've not been going anywhere, but it's nice and clean, and I'm Kojaking and rocking it there basically. So yes, indeed, you did make it. Yes, indeed. Other than that, I know I put out a video just about an hour ago about Brandon Curry. I don't think he's going to make it for the Mr. Olympia, folks. Especially if he has food poisoning, you know. If he has food poisoning, folks, he's going to have to drink a whole bunch of water. Therefore, he's not going to be able to diet like he's supposed to diet, you know. If he has food poisoning, they're going to give him a whole bunch of fluids. He's going to puff up like the Michelin Man. All right, got vodka. Actually, I got decaf coffee. I'm saving my stuff for the game tonight. Not gonna order any wings or anything. Like I said, between me paying off my student loans and the website suspensions, the great one's gonna hold back and tighten the belt just a tad bit this month. Of course, I got my cigars in. I got, again, tightening up the belt. I have some Mark Twain rough drafts, and in my general hand-rolled Dominicans, but no Perdomos this month. Yeah, he's going to become the Hindenburg. I mean, Brandon Curry is not competing, in my opinion, even if he has food poisoning or so forth. Because they're going to pump him up with fluids. If he gets on stage, he's going to get laughed at. In the old days, if everyone but Lee Priest, Mr. or Miss, what excuse would they have to not give Lee? Lee Priest wasn't good enough. I mean, that's just it. You know, Lee Priest was not good enough. I mean, he's good enough today, but you have to remember that he wasn't good enough in the era that he competed in. I saw Kevin Levroni's interview as far as to why he didn't win the Mr. Olympia, you know. It's simply because Ronnie Coleman was around. Ronnie Coleman was the most dominant person. I mean, look at Sean Ray. Sean Ray, in this type of lineup within the past 10 or 15 years, Sean Ray would have blown everyone away and won the Mr. Olympia. It's just that it was a different era, you know. And once Ronnie Coleman stepped on the scene there, and once he won that first show in '98, you know, that was over with. You know, it was the era of the mass monsters. Sean Ray was out of the mix, and Kevin Levrone just couldn't beat Ronnie. Nobody could until he fell off. What would be my protocol for Brandon Curry? Not die. Don't do anything that's gonna make you not die. You know that right around this time, right before the show, you're supposed to be drying out. You know, if you're going to the hospital for food poisoning and you don't get any fluids, you're gonna get even sicker. You know, Brandon Curry ain't gonna be on stage. If he's on stage, he's nuts. He's gonna get himself killed. You know. But Lee no show. What with the excuse? Uh, you're talking about what ifs there, KCB. And like I said, I'm not a judge or anything like that. Uh, if no one showed up for the show, then no one gets the trophy. You see, and this is the same with NPC shows, there has to be, in order to get your pro card at a NPC show, there has to be at least 5 competitors So if there's like three competitors in like the heavyweight division of the NPC Nationals, which will never absolutely happen, but it could, maybe, then no one gets rewarded. There has to be a minimum amount of competitors on stage. Sean Ray can beat Lee Priest in any type era. You know, Lee Priest isn't even in Sean Ray's class. I mean, Lee Priest was a great bodybuilder, but you know he doesn't have the aesthetics as Sean Ray. I'm more big on aesthetics than size, you know. But I mean, both of them were great bodybuilders. But you're, I mean, Sean Ray just blows away Lee Priest's physique. Lee Priest has a much better personality, you know, and stuff. But personality doesn't win shows. If I was sitting in a chair and Sean Ray was standing on a phone book next to you, me and Sean Ray are pretty cool, so I wouldn't do that, you know. And when he had his, I mean, and he's not much. I mean, the thing about it is he's not much shorter than I am. I mean, when I met him, he was like, because I'm only 5'11", so, and he's like 5'8" actually, 5'8", 5'7", so he's like only 3 inches shorter than I am. So Lee Priest is a Keebler elf. He's a midget. He's like 5'4". He was, when I saw him, I was just looking down at him and stuff. Yeah. Space heater. Yeah, that's true, but you know, sometimes if no one shows up, they're still gonna. I mean, that only happens in local shows. If it's a national qualifier, nobody gets the title. Well, I like my webcam. How many? I've already told you before. I use a cellular router to stream. That's why it's all nice, smooth, and buttery. You'll be all right. You're supposed to be listening to the great one, not critiquing on internet values. If I had cable or fiber, then it wouldn't be even an issue at all to begin with. But in life, you have to work with what you got. Period. Sean Ray would have beaten Phil Heath, at least in the era that he competed in, early 90s. But if you're talking about a modern day version, no. Sean Ray would get killed by Phil Heath because, you know, you're talking about a different era where, you know, the amount of muscle oversights aesthetics, you know. So, no, Sean Ray would have been, you know, out of his era, in other words. You know, I knew that question was going to come next, Antonio. It stems from one of Palumbo's ex-girlfriends. I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, it's so complicated. It would take me another live stream in order to. It would take me at least a 4 hour live stream just to explain it all, because you're talking about at least 20 some years of bad blood. Aceto said Dexter at his best would have smoked. Uh, Possibly. I never liked Dexter's stomach. But size wise, yeah, Aceto's probably right about it. But you're talking about size versus aesthetics. Dexter never beat Sean Ray on stage, as far as I know, if I can recall. I don't think he ever beat him on stage. You know, Dexter was coming in while Sean Ray was going out, you know. Yeah, but you're talking about Sean Ray competing in an era of where muscularity counts way more than aesthetics. Sean Ray Sean Ray would have done well in the classic physique, but not in an open bodybuilding show. Yeah, prime Kevin Levrone could have beaten Phil Heath because Levrone does have size, you know. Part of the reason why he didn't win is because he spent too much time doing other activities like acting and other stuff, and he just didn't spend enough time actually being an IFBB pro. See, when you're a competitive IFBB pro, you have to be competing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And Kevin Levrone, he pretty much goofed around a bunch. He just wasn't serious enough. I like Aceto. I run his old ex-wife's website, Club Crivali, I think. Yeah. See, look, that's a site I built for her. I built it because I found it was the website domain was on sale, and but she just said that she didn't have the money for it. I'm like, you only have to pay me like $15, and I'll even throw in the website and host it for you. But she didn't. And I'm like, so I'm gonna let her domain expire and go out into the shadow realm again. But it was a good opportunity to work on some web designs anyway. So yeah, he didn't train enough. He was he was about 180 pounds on the off season. Oh no, she looks pretty bad. She looks horrible. Not really. Not my thing. Hmm. Hey, Raul, what's up? I hadn't got to your fucking comment yet there, Joel. But yeah, I drop into Vegan Gains' live stream every once in a while. Uh, Gary was a pretty good lifter. His issue is that he went to the WBF, which was probably a good idea because they got a ton of money from that. They shouldn't have punished them whenever they got back. That was just ridiculous. Yeah, some of my friends call me male. Hey, Bean Smasher, what's up? Now, Scatman, it's not a nice thing to call someone a freaking half breed. Decaf coffee. Dub got confronted outside his house. Oh, we definitely got to check that on tomorrow's midnight run. He had me blocked for like about 4 or 5 years, but you know, he wanted to chat with me, and I explained to him on one of his live streams one day, and I told him he had me blocked. So yeah, he unblocked it. That's a female bodybuilder. VGs. Oh boy. I like my name Melvin Scatman. I was named after the mayor of Seaboard, North Carolina, my mother's favorite teacher. Not only that, it's easy for people to remember because who the heck names their kid Melvin at this point in time, other than a Melvin Senior, Melvin Junior. Nobody names their kid Melvin. Melvin's a very old name. I only go by Vince because of my old wrestling name, Venom Vince Versace. Because I think Hottie's gonna win it. The only thing that matters is first place. Second place is the first loser. You know, Hottie Chupon's got this all the way. Ever heard of the saying cousins do it best when it. No, Bean Smasher, I've never heard of that. That's disgusting. That is just disgusting. Why are fat people that don't lift still strong? Well, because when they're lifting weights, Andy, it cushions the muscle. You also have to think about that with all the blubber around their bodies. They're getting a workout just by moving all of that weight. So that's why they're strong. I've eaten grouse before, but I've never played it. Speaking of which, I feel like having one of those duck pates at in Asheville. For some reason or other, I feel like some duck fries and some Peking duck or something. I feel like duck all of a sudden. Where's Dolan Duck anyway? I hadn't seen him in a while. I'm surprised the Saudis haven't paid the IFBB. No, that's not going to make any real difference at all. Would you rekindle with one of your exes? I can't think of any of my exes that I would, except for maybe one. His name's Jason. Yeah, I would probably rekindle with one person. Definitely not my ex-husband or anything. That ship's done sailed. Our time is long over, but yeah, I can think of just one, and that would be it. Fedor is fat. Well, Fedor won on technique. No, Dale Chance hasn't blocked me. Why would he block me for? I still wouldn't have dated you, Jay Masters. It wasn't a bad divorce or anything like that, Scatman, but it just ran its course to the point to where he's actually changed and I've changed to the point to where it just wouldn't be compatible at this point in time. Did you get married in a church? No. It was outside on a lawn. Hey, Andrew, what's up? Where did Joel go anyway? You know, folks, I mess with Joel a bunch there because I enjoy it, but Joel's all right with me. He's contributed to the live stream, so uh, I don't have no problem with him. In case you guys are wondering, but I do like to pick on him sometimes. So much like everybody else here. Hey, Andrew. Did I propose? No, he proposed. There was no cheating or anything. I'll just leave it at that. It's a relationship, and stuff like that. It's not really comfortable about just to air something else like that. KCB, I don't really have any good schmo stories that I haven't already told. Other than the IFBB pro that walked into into the gay club that I was in when I was in Vegas, And then there was a certain NPC. Oh yeah. There was a popular NPC competitor. He was friends with King Kamali. He used to do DJing, and he was playing at some club, and he was getting sucked off by well, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a female, that's for sure. But that's another story. That's a good schmo story, I hope. And I went up to him like, what are you doing? You do realize you're working, right? Do that on your own time, son. Can we get an example? Pillow talk to another man. Ah. I got Hottie Chupon winning. Everybody else is just garbage at this point in time. I mean, Nick Walker, he's out. Brandon Curry is not going to be in. I mean, Derek Lunsford still has a chance. So, yeah, I would say Derek and Hottie Chupon. But I think Hottie is going to edge it out. I don't find any of them of attractive. I mean, I would hang out with Brad, Dale, Lenny, and everything like that. But there's a difference between hanging out and attractiveness here. None of them are attractive by any means. Not PJ Braun, although there have been stories about him and Aaron and everything like that, but I'm definitely not gonna get into that because one of the yeah, I think I mentioned it to Aaron before back a couple of years. This was like, what was it? This is like in 2014 or so forth. He hadn't quite started up he had just started up the Blackstone with PJ, but there was some sort of incident of some type with both of them, and someone had contacted me making some accusations, and stuff. But I didn't believe it, so it was just garbage. I've not watched Connor Murphy stuff there, CS. Samson and Andrew. You know, McCluck gets on my nerves. He's an attention seeker. All he does is seek attention. I've known Aaron for close to 20 years. You know, most people know him as the first person that ever interviewed me on a blog radio show. But we've never dated, you know. I mean, not only that, he was with Darielle for God knows how long. So he was with them. She was with them when I first met him. Both of them living in that cockroach infested apartment. I mean, the place. I'm going to tell you guys this here. The place that Aaron used to live in was a literal crack house. I wouldn't wish his living arrangements upon nobody. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Aaron Singerman lived in a shithole. He lived in a complete, and Darielle went along with, you know. But Aaron's house was Aaron's apartment was probably in the absolute worst place, the worst condition ever. I mean, it was a roach motel. I kid you not. It looked sort of like have you ever heard of that Eric Conover channel where he now does that $1 billion real estate? This is pretty similar to Eric's apartment. You know, I mean, it was a roach and rat motel. You know, I mean, if there was any other rats, they would be teaching turtles kung fu. You know. Lenny will never get back into his Ruby form, ever. McCluck trashes Lenny and uses this here. Can't believe he answered Aaron dating. No, I mean, Scat Man, you're not the only one that's actually asked that before on a live stream. No. No, Andy. No, no, no. What is the most attractive man I've ever seen? Oh, are you a homosexual there, Psycho? I'm just curious. Aaron's place. The location it was in was worse than Lenny's. Aaron tried to keep it as clean as it could, but you could tell it was a crack house. You know, Aaron's place is awful. You know, Aaron has come a very long way since I first heard, you know, spoke with him. He's come a long, long, long way. But Aaron will tell you that right now that he lived in the shithole. Who the heck is texting me? Oh, lovely. U.S. government is actually the U.S. government has actually texted me about the healthcare.gov. Yes, I know it. I'm pretty aware that it's this year. I mean, I don't know why they pester me with that stuff. How tall is Aaron? Aaron's pretty tall. He's about 6'2" at least. He's much taller than I am. But I've never met him in person. I know that his stage appearance was like 6'1" or 6'2". But that's the one thing I've never met Aaron in person. I've met PJ in person, but which he probably doesn't remember me meeting him. But I did meet him in person. But I've never met Aaron in person. I would rather live in Sean G's place than Aaron's or Lenny's. And then it would be Sean G's first, Lenny's next, and then Aaron's for a week. You see, I can clean up Lenny's old place, you know. I can get that thing, I can get that cleaned within 24 hours. But Aaron, where the biggest thing was the location, you know. My God, you know. I'm surprised he didn't get shot where he was. The last time I talked with my cousin was yesterday, or actually was on. He came on the Tuesday. He came on the Tuesday live stream for Halloween. You have to renew it, Pugman. Renew what? Are you talking about Lenny's apartment? You mean renovated? No, it didn't need renovation or anything like that. It just needed to be cleaned up. I mean, they cleaned it up one time. But Aaron was in probably his location was in the worst place ever, you know. And that's a big difference. So Sean G's place first, Lenny's place next, and then Aaron's old place last. Which you guys you may find it kind of funny that I would pick Aaron's as being last, but you guys don't realize just where he was. I mean, Scatman, it probably had to be. Yeah, I gotta renew. I mean, I'm gonna keep the same insurance, Pugman. Probably Melina, but they don't have to contact me every 2 freaking days about healthcare. You know, if you got drafted, would I go? Yes, I would go. I mean, I've been in the army before, so I mean, it's. But they're never going to institute a draft anymore. Soon there won't be even any people so much. It'll be like Skynet. We'll have a bunch of robots fighting. Well, my income this year, because I've invested so much in my business, it's gonna be pretty bad, Pug man. But you've definitely taken good care of the channel and everything, Air. So that's for sure. So I haven't had to worry about the subscriptions in order to pay for that cell service there. But it's going to be pretty. My income this year for the first time is going to be pretty low. Uh, Last year, even though I had left Verizon, my income was about. I made about 82,000 last year. My best year I ever had was the year before that, and I made about 110,000. This year, I'm probably gonna end up around the $40,000 range. Maybe a little more. It's gonna really depend on how Christmas is. Shanji's place is in a pretty okay location. It's in the projects of some type, but his place is fine. Lenny's was still in Florida. Aaron's, whoo! Go ask one of these days, folks. Go ask Aaron just the place that he used to live in. You know, modern warfare's done with drones. That's where we're headed towards is drones. Hey, Justin, what's up? Bitcoin is a waste of time at this point in time. I can't believe I said it like that. Part of the issue with Bitcoin, Jay, it's just too volatile to It's just too volatile at this point. We're gonna turn into Star Wars. My favorite biceps exercise is the barbell curl. I mean, 2 years ago there was a whenever the biggest thing was right around the pandemic. Pugman. The year before that, I made about the same thing. So in 2020 and 2021, I made over 100,000. And of course, I had my deductions naturally. But the reason why I made so much is because I run a medical supply company. So during 2020, during COVID, people wanted masks, people wanted gels and everything like that, and I couldn't keep enough of that stuff in the warehouse. So Pugman, I was just in the right business at the right time. So 2020, 2021, I was so busy in 2020. That was the time I actually had to get an office downtown, and I had to bring on some people. First time I ever had a downtown office. First time I ever had employees too. So while I was still working at Verizon, because that's just how busy I was. They were independent contractors, by the way, not employees here. So I'm not paying no health benefits. I don't need to ask Richard for money. This is an unusual year, Andrew, because I had to pay off a ton of stuff. I had to invest a lot of money into my new businesses since I left Verizon. And then, of course, I paid off my student loans. So that really tapped the keg pretty much. Not only that, I can't claim all of the 40,000 because I have to pay taxes not on the 40,000 but probably on the business in its entirety. It's gonna be pretty ugly, Andrew. Yeah, he lives in Brickville City. KCB volatility is not opportunity. It's just reckless. Invest in stocks. The Bitcoin cryptocurrency stuff is over with, in my opinion. A lot of people have been losing they've been losing their stuff. I mean, Tom Brady, he lost like $15 million off cryptocurrency. People that were cryptocurrency millionaires, they're now at zero. Literally at zero. That stuff is just dangerous. People are losing all of their money because all these cryptocurrency businesses they're just losing people's money, you know. It's too volatile. You can put $200,000 in and you're gone. And then for some of the cryptocurrencies, what they're doing is like pump and dumps. And so I'm like 14 years younger than you, but when I was a child, Goldberg was. Yeah, I like Goldberg. Goldberg was a awesome wrestler. Uh, I thought whenever Goldberg started, I thought he was going to end up like Steve McMichaels from the Chicago Bears, but he was straight awesome. Well, Rick, my cousin needed to lose weight. Scatman, Forex is not a scam. I mean, it's something that regularly runs. It's just that Forex is very difficult to trade on. Uh, I mean, Forex is necessary because it's the way our coin exchanges actually work. It's not a scam, but you got these. I'm not going to name these academy schemes, and I'm pointing as a clue as far as the one I'm talking about, Scatman. I'm not going to point to any academy schemes to where they somewhat teach you how to trade on Forex. I would never trade on Forex. It's super volatile. or these forex robots, these pips and stuff. They're most of them are all fake. Yeah, Pugman, medical gains. I definitely enjoyed those years. That was the only good thing about COVID for me. Anyone that had a medical company cleaned up. I wouldn't mind having Pugman mod of a channel, but I don't have enough people on my channel, Andrew, to need a mod at all. As far as penny stocks are concerned, most of the time penny stocks are used as a pump and dump. So, I used to look at penny stocks in the back of Playboy magazine and stuff. If a total blackout happened, no electricity at all, what would you do to live? What do you mean? What would I do to live? I mean, I have a house. I mean, I can if the power was off for that long and there was no more grocery stores and we had to go off grid. I mean, I've went hunting before, so I know how to hunt for food and I know how to skin things. So that's what I would actually do. I mean, obviously, with my home or so forth, I guess I would have to put in a wood chimney of some type, which is doable. But I would definitely miss what I definitely wouldn't be doing any live stream, Psycho. Start twerking? No, I'm not gonna do that. Did I tell you worked at a grocery store now? As long as you're enjoying the job itself, there's nothing wrong with working at a grocery store. I mean, especially someone that's a night stalker. I mean, no one's gonna mess with you. You go and put your headphones on and you just start putting things in. There's no opportunity in volatility. You're just gambling. I'd rather roll dice than play with the cryptocurrency. It's either going to be pump and dump or it just drops up and down. Honestly, Jay, I wish that Dale and Lenny just kissed and made up. I don't know why they go at each other like that. I've not seen the new documentary. Just keep cash in the bank, you get plenty of interest. Uh, I mean, I definitely keep the money in the bank, but I still have my E Trade account. I do some occasional trading, and then of course I got all of my Verizon stock, which I can't. There's nothing I can do about the Verizon stock now because it's dropped so much. I just have to hope by next year that it goes back up, and then I'll cash it out. But the my stock has actually dropped in half, so that exactly wasn't a good gamble. I should have taken it out when it was at 57. Now I think it's like at what is Verizon stock price now? Let's take a look at my Fidelity account. Forex, it's not that Forex is tricky or anything like that. You just need to get a lot of training in order to trade on it. The problem is they got these academies that they say they're going to teach you how to trade, but they're just scumbags. They're just lying. Oh my fuck. You got to be kidding me. I mean, it's rallied, but I've not checked my. This is. Well, I wish I hadn't looked at that, folks. My Verizon stock is a potato, folks. A big, giant, freaking potato. Well, Andrew, I do keep a lot in the bank, but that's for my retirement. Because you need at least $1 million to retire. I'm nowhere close to that. But Pugman is right about keeping money in the bank. You can get plenty of interest. That's all the more reason why I want to get to that $1 million mark, because the bank will basically pay your living expenses with the $1 million in the bank. That's how a lot of these celebrities live. They just keep the money in the bank, and they pay all their bills on the interest that they collect from it. Oh, Vinny, you told me off for being a troll. I love it when you get authority. Yeah. I wish I hadn't looked at those stocks there, Pugman. I really. This is probably the. I've. This is just ridiculous. I got to look at it just one more time just to make sure I'm looking at these numbers. I should pull the whole thing out, actually. But we're going to do like William Wallace. We're going to hold the line, per se. We're going to hold the line, folks. Hold the line. But yeah, Forex is necessary for the world to run because of the exchange rates and stuff there, KCB. But it's not something that an amateur wants to fool with. If you're going to learn Forex trading, you need to learn regular stock trading first. Forex is super dangerous. It's a lot more complicated. It's not a scam, it's just part of the stock market, but it's definitely not something you want to mess with. Well, I just got a lot of questions, Wally. I won't be around during the apocalypse. There would be no electricity, so no live stream. Kalura would have to contact me directly. I'm not going to contact him about collabing. No, Psycho, we're not dropping pants. For every dollar you leave in the bank, they lend 10 and you make nothing while they make a fortune. KCV, the bank is going to make a fortune anyway. When it comes to banks, they're already backed by the feds. It's say if you make $1 million, You keep it in the bank, you're going to generate enough interest to live off of. And you don't have to trade back and forth. You don't have to put any effort in it whatsoever. So what? The bank's going to make money anyway. That's something that a lot of older folks need to do because they're not going to be in a position to trade. They want to enjoy their golden years. They don't want to be on some computer and watching the stocks go up and down. I don't know why you keep saying that. I mean, KCB, are you a big investor? I take it you got a lot of money in stocks and trades. No, that's like looking at my bank account. I'm not sharing that with you. That's where Verizon keeps their investments here, Fidelity. I've just not moved it over to E Trade. Heath Ledger is not cute. I mean, he's been dead for like 15 years. You can imagine what that corpse looks like by now. No, there's nothing wrong with futures, neither. You took it. There's no. I've never heard of no televangelist Leroy Jenkins there. Quick pump. Stop trolling. Why would they make a Gladiator 2? Didn't the guy die in the first one? So KCB, I take it that you're an investor. Is that correct? You do well in doing investments. I mean, that's what you're saying. You do well in investments here. Is that correct? I asked Big Lenny about that. I can't find any results. I don't think Dale actually competed. Yeah, you can, Wally. You can live on that. I mean, you can't live big time, but you can live on that. If you have your house and everything else paid for, 30 to 40,000 annually isn't too bad. If you don't have a million in the bank or anything like that, I would suggest someone to relocate like to another, become an expat, move to somewhere like Mexico, for example. The good parts of Mexico, the not the dangerous parts. Imagine drinking fine cognac. I don't think Jay will ever. I've never seen Jay drink anything other than beer. You know, I think the most expensive stuff he's drunk before is Wild Irish Rose. You have to spend money to make money. Let me ask you, KCB, when's the last time you've donated to this channel? I'm just curious. That's another one. Why would they make an I Am Legend too? Will Smith died in that. Not only that, Will Smith's already in enough trouble already. But folks, the way I make money is through business, running my businesses. It's a solid way of, it's a solid and honest way of making money, you know. Well, Wally, you got to let me in on it next time. My presence is like charity, Jay-Z. Let's take a look and see here on that. You know, as far as donations is concerned, even Joltine, who make fun of, he's the one that's donated the most in fifth place. KCB, you post so many videos for me to review and react, and you've not put anything. You've not. I don't see any time to where you've actually ever donated to this channel in its inception. You know, whatsoever. In other words, you hadn't given shit. But even with that being said, you know, this channel is for men, so I don't use this channel in order to make money or anything like that. But you know, if you talk about, you know, you got to give a little money to save money, then I'm gonna have to put you on the spot there, dog. I'm sorry, you know. So if you up there big balling with that money, why don't you put a donation in, you know? Because like I said, I don't think you've ever donated before. It's not with what I mean. Is it going to be a remake or something, Scatman? Because I think it'd be a dumb idea to remake a movie like that. Sean doesn't always talk about doing nothing. Well, sometimes some of his information is pretty informative. Reminos, he may be at the O. If he decides to compete, he might end up killing himself, but he ain't gonna win now. I don't even see any reason why he is gonna. But I mean, at the same time, Nick Walker's also at the Mr. Olympia as well. Being at the Mr. Olympia doesn't mean that anything. He was before he got sick. He was probably at the Mr. Olympia. He was probably in town already. Most of the competitors are going to be in town already. They usually show up on Wednesday, a couple of days early to acclimate to the environment. I do like Sean's egg and bacon sandwiches.
F with them only.
Lamar with a $50 donation. I definitely appreciate that. See, I had it on that other screen. What did it actually say? Didn't quite catch that. I'm up here running my mouth. F with the money. You know, like I said, this is a channel I do from. These live streams are something I do for enjoyment, but I definitely appreciate the donation, Lamar. Well, Jay, I donate to a number of causes every single year. The biggest one I donate to is Miracle Mart, or excuse me, Miracle Ministries. I mean, it's not only a write off, but you know, you have to understand that there are people out there, they work hard and stuff, and sometimes they may not still come up with it, you know, and stuff. I also donate to food banks as well. It's good to give back to, you know, your general public, in other words. You know, it's the right thing to do. We've had enough Hercules movie. The only Hercules movie that mattered is the one with Lou Ferrigno. The only Hercules movie that really mattered is the one with Steve Reeves. Of all the Hercules movies, none of them was better than the one with Steve Reeves in it. I didn't. He started beating up a pillow again. Ooh, someone should post that up. Yeah, Pugman. Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, Pugman. Did you record that? That jar of bacon. Well, KCB, I mean, you still hadn't explained yourself there. Come on, explain to us, fellow piss troopers. You up there slinging that money? Put something in that pot there. Why haven't you put anything in the collection plate in all the time we've done live streams? I mean, heck, Joel has actually put money in, and I always fuck with him sometimes, you know. No, the person that's in second, I think, is probably Andrew. Andrew's done pretty well. He's contributed a bunch as well. So didn't George Peterson die just a few days? He did, Jay. That's what I'm worried about as far as Brandon Curry is concerned. I think it's reckless for him, but because he should be drying out. And when you got food poisoning, you got to get a bunch of fluid. You got to drink a lot of water, you know. So if he's going to try to compete, that means he can't be drinking no water, you know. That means it's going to get a lot worse. Yeah, but I'm not going to end the stream. But yeah, I guess that would make sense. But I don't work on an hourly wage anymore. I work based upon what my websites bring in. I don't exactly celebrate Day of the Dead, but I always make some of that gruel for the Day of the Dead. I can't remember what they call it, but I sometimes make that stuff. Let me look it up. Day of the Dead gruel. Pozzoli, that's what it is. I think I pronounced it right. But it's that Mexican gruel stuff. Veganism exposed. I sure hope he recorded it. That'd be awesome. Lou Ferrigno and his wife are getting divorced. Well, that was a long time coming. Yes, I remember KCB. Now drop it. That's right, Jay. Drop in some dough, my friend. Am I watching the Olympia pay per view? Well, if I do, I'm not paying for it. I can do 100 push-ups. I mean, it would hurt a bunch, but I can do 100. Was Sean Penn's character Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Yeah, even in my poor condition there, Pugman, I could still do at least 100. Well, I mean, it'd take me about 10 or 15 minutes to get 100, but damn it, I will get 100 in, you know. And I'm in some pretty rough shape. I mean, the reason why I can do a bunch of push-ups there, Jay, is whenever I got home, I mean, I couldn't afford to go to a gym, so I would just do push-ups and sit-ups. But push-ups is all about a mindset, Jay. It has really nothing to do with anything in particular. You ever heard? I mean, let me give you an example. Let me give you a story that's from Arnold's Book of Modern Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. See, Arnold's friend Franco Columbo was in the gym and he was squatting, and he was trying to get this 450-pound squat, and he had missed it twice, and he was going to attempt again, and he was going to miss it again. So Arnold came up to Franco. He's like, "Look, you got to nail it this time. You got those. You see those girls over there? They're going to be watching you. You don't want to let those pretty ladies down." Franco psyched himself up. He not only hit that 450, or was it 500? He not only hit the 450, but I think he got 3 reps in, and then walked off like a boss. That's in Arnold's book, And that's what I mean by doing 100, Jay. If you put me on the spot and I'm live, I'm going to do 100 push-ups. Even if I'm not live, I'm still going to do it, because I have that mentality saying, hey, I got to get these 100 push-ups in, And it doesn't matter how bad shape how rough I'm in. So, well, I just need to take a refresher course on French scat, man. I speak, when I was studying French, I was pretty good at it, I've just not spoken to anyone in French in maybe like 5 or 6 years. So I would just need probably a little refresher on French and I'd be fine. Probably 2 sets of 50, and hold up for about a minute and do the other 50. I appreciate that. Do tops give blowjobs? Depends on whether they feel like it or not, They feel like sucking a cock, then they can suck one, Who is more of my type? They're about evenly matched there, Kevin, But if I had the actual choice, absolutely not. You'll super chat $100 if you do 100 right now. You're not going to super chat $100. Well, that's the whole thing. I've seen Richard do. At one time he had people claim that they would super chat him money if he did something there, and when he did it, they didn't donate at all. Have I ever encountered a power? There's no such thing as a power bottom. There's just bottoms. What constitutes a power bottom anyway? A bottom just fucking lays there. Doesn't do anything, It just lays there. Literally. I mean, what type of effort does that person have to put in, So if they don't have to put any effort in, you can't call someone a power bottom. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. How can you call someone a power... to add the word power means that you would have to have some sort of effort. Now, you can say power top, but you can't say power bottom. Because a bottom by nature just sits there and takes it. Period. No push-ups tonight. I've not eaten at a Chinese buffet and ever since I was actually married. So that would have been 2014. My ex liked the Chinese buffets and I would go in, but at this point in time with my blood pressure and everything like that, it's just too salty for me to eat. That's also the reason why I don't order out for pizzas or anything. You know, I have to be mindful of how much sodium I get in my diet quick pump. Oh no, I definitely can't drink Monster Energy anymore, Pugman. I can't really. I can't really take any more stimulants of any type. You know. Uh, because chances are I did a lot of damage taking all sorts of stems and stuff like that all through the years. You know, ECA stacks and some other weird stuff that accumulated in that the very last bodybuilding show I took. So I avoid any energy drinks. I avoid anything else that I avoid anything else that is has any type of stimulants. I just avoid stimulants in particular there, Pugman. Bet you can't do 100. Well, you did donate 10, so I tell you what, I'll crank out about 25 push-ups. How about that? Yeah. Check this out here, folks. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and finally, 25. There you go. 25 push-ups for your $10, and I do thank you for your donation. No, I did 25. I have no reason to lie to you folks. But I do got to catch my breath. Whew. Oh boy. Oh, I'm wearing pajamas. So you got 25 for your 10. But I'm not going to be breathing that much. I used to do, back in the day, I couldn't afford going to a gym, so I would do between 500 to 1,000 push-ups a day. Because that's what I can afford.
For admitting you can't do 100.
Kevin with a $10 donation. Well, I can still do 100 push-ups. but not 100 push-ups straight, maybe 50, but definitely not 100. But I definitely appreciate the donation. But you got 1/4 of the push-ups for 1/10 of the price. I think I made a good deal. Fair game now, huh? But yeah, what I was saying. But getting back to because I couldn't afford the gym, I would do between 500 to 1,000 push-ups a day. I mean, because I'm a big fan of Herschel Walker. Well, not the recent election cycle where he was talking all crazy stuff. Herschel did like 2,500 push-ups a day. Still does. Push-ups are a great chest builder. Say I was back being a CEO, you walk into a cell with Fleece Johnson, the booty warrior. The cell closes. What you do? I just sit there and wait until another officer unlocks me, opens up the door. Fleece Johnson, given his history and everything like that, he's not going to attack a prison guard or anything like that if they accidentally got locked in. I mean, now, if it was the old Charles Bronson, and I'm talking about the one in England, that's a little bit different. I like autumn leaves. I just don't like sweeping them, Scatman. Yeah, well, Herschel did lift weights. He doesn't lift that much. He just does push-ups and sit-ups. Is that the old man from Walking Dead? All right, folks, we got 45 minutes left, so get your questions in. If y'all want to put any donations in, KCB, I'm talking to you, Mr. Big Money. You're welcome to put one in too, so. I love all the oak and leaf maple leaves covering the ground. I don't mind them covering the ground, just just not my patio. Because every single day I gotta go and take my broom and I gotta sweep all that stuff off. UK crew checking in. Yeah, like a week after I changed the show due to from the Midnight Run UK to the Happy Hour live stream. You know, I was really hoping my UK subscribers would turn out for the show, but I guess they just didn't, so. But I'll probably be changing the names of some of my shows, including the Earl Grey Tuesday. I'm probably going to formulate that into something else as well. The reason being is because now that I run it for 4 hours, I don't drink Earl Grey. Can I drink my tap water? Absolutely. My water out here is well water, so it's pretty fresh. But I like drinking filtered water. You know, I have one of those Primo water dispensers. I mean, a 5 gallon 5 gallons of that is only like $6.99. So plus the Primo water just makes the coffee a whole lot better. Well, that guy, I was actually bigger than Wes Watson in prison. If you look at some of Wes's old prison pictures, I mean, he couldn't have weighed no more than 200 pounds. So he didn't look like that. Even if he looked like that, I'd still kick his ass, you know. I mean, there's a difference between looking tough and being tough, that guy. It's like Joey. It's like Joey. He has a bunch of tattoos, he's muscular, but he's not as tough as he thinks he is. He tried to confront Big Boy and he had to pull out a knife. You know, I would have fought Big Boy straight on and I would have knocked him out too. And I may not, and that's the thing, I may look mild mannered and everything like that, but there's a difference between looking and doing and having the experience to do things. Because believe me, whenever I worked when I worked in prisons and jails and stuff and did bouncing, the problem is people were too unassuming, you know. Do you know why some people get tattoos for? Some people get tattoos to represent that they were in a military service, sometimes for their girlfriends. Other times, but a lot of people get tattoos to make themselves look a lot tougher, you know. They get all these stupid tribal tattoos or anything like that. But getting a tattoo doesn't make you tough, and taking a bunch of steroids don't make you tough. It's the experience and actually putting the damn work in that makes you tough, you know. That's how I would knock out Wes Watson. But I always teach people to walk away from a fight. So how would I handle Wes Watson? If he screwed around, he'd get a crack. And there wouldn't be a damn thing he can do about it, too. Well, even my well water, Pugman, when it comes to my well water, I use it to wash clothes and and take a bath in. It's perfectly fine for that. If I do drink any of it, I got one of those little filtering type things that I put atop my faucet. That'll clear the water, but you know, I still drink Primo water anyway. Well, I will leave the U.S. pretty soon, so either go to Canada or Mexico. I've not decided yet, but I'm getting my passport. Nasty. Wes is such a liar. He recently. You can look at his old prison pictures. Oh yeah, y'all. Every prison guard gets a radio. Most common thing I would radio in is 1081. Or 109. Of course, folks, 1081 means traffic stop, but 1081 is suicide attempt. A lot of people wanted to commit suicide in prison for some odd reason, Pugman. It's kind of sad, you know. Hey, Kevin, I definitely appreciate the donation, $2, and I just caught that right there. Definitely appreciate that. Of course, now I guess it comes up to what is it? 12, well, 25, 35. So you're still getting a good deal out of the push-ups I done. What does Vegan Gains charge? $1 a push-up or something? Or I'm not sure. I got my glasses from Zenny Optical. Well, Pugman, you don't want to yell 10. It's kind of sad that had to been called a bunch. As 1081 and then there's 10-9. The fight is broken out. But that was just the thing. Sometimes people are in such a bad position that, especially if someone is drunk or something and they're inebriated. It's why we have to. It's the reason why there's a drunk tank, Pugman, so that way they sober up. Because if they're still drunk and you send them out the general population, they have a more likely chance to either commit suicide or go start a fight with someone and get beat up. It's all bad all around. Hey, Lamar, what's up? No, I mean, that guy, he couldn't have weighed no more than 200 pounds. I doubt he even weighed 200 pounds. He wasn't that big. Pugman, I have no reason to, I have no reason whatsoever to lie about push-ups. If I do 25 push-ups, I do 25. If I do 50, I'll say I do 50. If I can't do 50 or 25, I got no problems telling you that. I never yelled for help, but you're not really allowed to do that, Pugman. When you're on a radio, you also have to maintain professionalism, even if you're getting shanked. But no, you have to, in any type of really bad situation, you still have to maintain professionalism. That's something they teach you in the very beginning. But I will say, one time I did yell into the mic 10-9 for at ST Block. ST Block, they literally had a riot inside the block itself. It was pretty bad. Lot of bloody noses. Couple broken arms. But I did yell it pretty loud because when it comes to a riot, they're going to be loud there, Pug. So Bob Joyce is not Elvis. I mean, you don't really have to yell because, you always have your partner just from behind, literally. So you don't have to holler. There's going to be help when you need it. And like I said before, you're not going to have the officers that have problems with inmates are the ones that go and just screw with them. They're already in jail. Why go screw with their lives, Go pick at them and stuff, make fun of them, push them around, or take indecent liberties with them. Jay wouldn't be able to handle himself in a position like that. I did the job because I had to and I needed the money. So yeah, everyone is. I mean, was I scared every day when I went to worked in a prison? Absolutely. I was scared every day I always had a fear of getting shanked or getting killed. And, everything turned out right, except the shanking part. I did get shanked. So, other than that, I didn't get killed. So, the measure of a man is actually admitting his fears and being able to work through them and not letting one's fears conquer their judgment. I don't think Jay Masters has that capability. If he's afraid of something, he's not going to be in a position to where he conquers it. I believe he is still drinking. That's the one thing, folks. While I always preach just to walk away from fights itself, if ever the moment to where you're not in a position to walk away, you better put up a fight, folks. That's just it. But yeah, all of these guys with tattoos and stuff, they just get the tattoos to make themselves look tough, but they're really not. It's just all a cover. If you get a tattoo, make sure it's for a good reason. Military service, sweetheart, your mom, some tradition, something that represents your heritage or so forth. But don't get a tattoo just to make yourself look tough. Not only are tattoos permanent, but it does nothing. A lot of people have tattoos. Liberals have tattoos, Dylan Mulvaney has a tattoo, That's how much a tattoo means here. It doesn't mean jack. Do I have sleep apnea? No. I sleep just fine. Hey, Athens, what's up, man? Brad has a lot of tattoos. But it's not my position to question why he has a tattoo or so forth. I just think a tattoo, since it's going to be permanent, there should be some actual meaning behind it. That's if you're going to get a tattoo. Now, I have no tattoos whatsoever, I've just never felt the need. My brother, he has about 8 or 10 tattoos, actually. Tattoos on muscles on the body. There was someone in the news actually that tattooed a 6-pack on his chest recently. Would I top Brad? Okay, next question. Speaking of questions, folks, we got about 30 minutes left, so get your comments in. KCB, I'm still waiting on that money. Where's my money at? Taco Queen had nothing to do with ruining the Misfits. It's just that everybody wanted to go in business for themselves. That's what I wouldn't even call it ruining the Misfits. Everyone thought they were a star. It's like the Beatles. They broke up because everyone decided they wanted to do their own record, whether it's McCarthy, George Harrison. Speaking of which, did you guys hear that the Beatles released their final song Thanks to this is one good thing about AI technology. The AI was able to clean up the music, and it was able to simulate John Lennon's voice. The song sounds awesome, folks. It's called "Then and Now." You can Google. You can type in on YouTube, and you can hear the Beatles song "Then and Now." I think he's done left. Sometimes you got to call people out like that, you know. I spend more time trying to make I spend more time trying to make money than, talking about it, I mean, I already understand the importance of having money and being able to pay bills and to do other things, but I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on with McCarthy. I have no clue, Athens. He hasn't. I haven't spoken with him in days, so I guess he's doing what he is doing. I just hope he's okay there. I hope nothing bad has happened to him. Sometimes if someone, Athens, sometimes if a person has a mental issue, you can only wish the best for them. I'm not in Atlanta to watch over McCarthy. He's just gonna have to watch over himself or his friends. He hasn't asked me for any money. Like I said, I've not spoken to him in quite some time. And I've not seen him post in a couple of days. I mean, eventually he'll show back up on the grid. No, he has mental. He's probably bipolar. I mean, the drugs are an issue. The bipolar has to be the first issue, which he takes drugs in order to compensate for it. Jay, will you stop asking me that damn question? Looks like Dave put out another video. Dave's here and he's furious. Maybe we'll watch that tomorrow. Maybe never. Well, yes, he's drinking. He's drinking beer, Athens. I mean, I'm more than sure that he's drinking beer. I don't see why he would stop. I mean, when it comes to alcohol and stuff like that, you just don't you just don't stop on a dime. It's just that if he's gonna stop drinking, he needs to level it down. But more importantly, he would need to check himself into one of those rehab places. But those things are like $20,000 to $30,000. Well, Sniper, I do the best I can. That's all I can do these days. mean, pretty much that's where we're at. But I mean, the Misfits are still alive. I mean, they're just doing their own thing, you know. I'm more than sure they'll probably get back together. I don't know why he drinks Steel Reserve for. Now that I think about it, Athens, I never liked that. I never liked Steel Reserve. I thought it was a pretty nasty beer. But it's probably because I'm more used to the Thomas Creek Brewery than that brand of beer. But folks, we got about 20 minutes left, so get your questions and comments in. Thoughts on Heather Brooks' return? I have no clue who that is. When I looked up the name, all I see is a Heather Harmon, which is a professional porn star. So I don't have any thoughts on it. Well, Athens, Lenny's always breathing hard on his videos. I don't know. I don't know a time where he wasn't breathing hard. You have to remember, Lenny's a really big guy. He's at well over 300 pounds. So when you get up in weight, it is much harder to breathe. Wonder why that does that for. But yeah, I don't. I've heard Lenny breathe hard on his on any discussions for years, and it's even worse whenever he's walking around. Okay, here's a question. If a top bumps into another top who is more dominant or whatever is more sexually appealing, can the top be get topped by the other top? I don't think nothing would happen at all, to be honest with you. You know, if someone is a top, that means that they're not going to be bottoming or anything like that. On the other hand, they may be versatile. So that question can go into all different directions. But I would say that they would probably end up just skipping sex and just playing some cards or watching TV. Yes, I'm gonna have some Radius wine after I eat dinner, Athens. Yeah, I think playing some cards or some squash instead of squashing would be appropriate. Actually, no, I've never encountered a situation like that before. It's kind of weird to think of, but you know, I've never been in that situation. But I tell you what, if I'm ever in that situation, Kat, you'll be the first person I let know. All that topping down. Mm-hmm. No, there are differences. There are tops and there's bottoms and then there's versatiles. Trust me on that. I'm all about if you want to pop that puppy's can, you ain't got to grease them so hard, you know. Yep, I'll definitely give you an update if I ever decide to sleep with a top or not. Chances are, like I said, we probably end up playing cards or watching TV. Would I date Don Jr.? No. He has a beard. And he's an idiot. You know, he actually testified in court saying that he had nothing to do with his dad doing his dad's financial records. Which makes me curious, why would they call him in to begin with unless his name was on some of that paperwork? Very interesting. All right, folks, we got 13 minutes left, so we're going to go ahead and do the soul poll. I would never vote for DeSantis. He is a horrible person. He would screw up the country. I would never vote for DeSantis. I don't know why people would vote for him now. I mean, he's a Trump wannabe, but he's not even in his league. Here's the thing, folks. What's the biggest news on Ron DeSantis right now? It's whether he wears shoe lifts or not. He needs to step aside, because Trump is going to win the nomination. I mean, he's ahead by he's at 60%. People want Trump. They don't want DeSantis. The people has spoken, you know. Open bodybuilding isn't dead. Open bodybuilding's going to always be evolving. I think it's improved ever since they started with the classic physique stuff. Maybe we could play some of this Soul Brother stuff. Why don't we do that? I would ask Nick Trigili that question. I've never seen any video to where he's actually had sex. If he did have sex, it would have been a private video that's never been released. No, we would just end up playing cards if there was two tops. But here's the thing, it would nothing would ever occur to begin with. That's why it's important to go on a date, just to make sure that you're compatible. And that would be one subject that would come up in terms of compatibility is concerned. What do you think, folks? Should this be my exit music? This is the music left over from the Halloween run. I like playing cards. Nothing wrong with that. Hey Lamar, you gonna be streaming later? You gonna be doing any gaming streaming? Let us know in the comments. I don't know if you can do a posing routine with this music. That is going to greatly change. I don't have it yet, simply because of the Nick Walker, Brandon Curry situation. I'm going to have to redo my Olympia top 6. They'll probably just jerk off. That would be my guess. I don't think they would do anything. Like I said, I've never encountered a situation like that before. I mean, just because you're horny doesn't mean you have to do something. You can just hold it in until, you know, you're back at home to where you can pound the meat or so forth. Just saying. I'm sure you do like Kai Green's videos. But you know, at the very least, Kai Green has moved on from his silliness. To where Kali Muscle hasn't. That's why I don't pick on Kai Green. I mean, obviously Kai Green's no longer is out of the bodybuilding scene. He made his money and now he's doing other things. Yeah, he probably ate some of some bad food from Janoi. I would be scared to eat whatever. You know, if someone paid me $50,000 just to eat what Genova was cooking, I would have to seriously think about taking that type of bet. No, happy hour usually is at 5 o'clock anyway. So I renamed it from the Midnight Run UK. Just some piano jazz. Oh yeah, King Cobra. Oh God. Yeah, you showing up pretty late. I mean, the show's gonna end in like 4 minutes. All of a sudden, you pop in. What's up with that? What's up with that? Not enough memberships. Not only that, it wasn't finished either. They probably ran out of money and just left it unfinished. I mean, the bathroom wasn't working. They had a porta potty outside. How are you going to sign up memberships with stuff like that? Like having to take a dump outside? You can't. Chances are someone tried to open up a powerhouse. They spent all the money on licensing and didn't have enough money just to get everything set right. But look on the bright side. Someone's going to get that equipment for pennies on a dollar. Honestly, they could skip the franchise, just take all the equipment and move it into a smaller space, or turn it into a personal training studio. That would be more suitable. And finally, hey Lionheart, what's up? I mean, we got 2 minutes left, so if you got a question, go ahead and ask it. It's more like opening up a bakery and not having an oven and not a bathroom. The biggest thing that killed it was the bathroom. Shouldn't even have opened without a working bathroom. You can't do that. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right, folks. It is 7 o'clock p.m. And that is the end of the Happy Hour live stream. I want to thank Lamar I want to thank Kevin B for giving me a good workout with the push-ups. I want to thank everybody else for showing up and hanging out with me. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the midnight run. Bell time is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, peace and soul.